Just recently, police found a man's body cut into 8 pieces on their shores, but this wasn't just a regular killing, it was an abduction, torture, and murder. Meet Alexander Petrovsky. He is alleged to have run extortion rackets targeting businesses, bars, and restaurants. Although he has denied these allegations, and he has never been convicted of them, regardless, he became incredibly wealthy, and he donated a lot of his money to Eastern Orthodox churches. By the year 2000, he had a son named Alexander, who now goes by the name of Yermak. Yermak grew up inside this underworld. His father built influence through force, connections, and fear, and Yermak inherits great wealth and reputation. Now, this has never been fully proven in court, but Yermak has been reportedly linked to a call center fraud economy that has flourished in Dnipro. The model is simple. First, scammers pretend to be bank staff, brokers, or crypto advisors. They then create urgency and tell the victim that their money is at risk. They then pressure them into moving their funds into a safe or secure account, which is controlled by the criminals. Billions are lost to these schemes every single year, causing untold damage to families across Europe. These criminal families across Ukraine have their rivalries, but they also have their alliances. Yermak is a longtime friend of a man called Igor Komarov, and Igor is also the son of a man embroiled in the criminality of Ukraine. Igor and Yermak were both part of the Golden Youth, a term used to describe the sons of high-ranking criminals. Now, we know that Igor earned a lot of money, and we know this because his girlfriend, Yeva Mishalova, once said that she would never date a man who earned less than $50,000 a month. Yeva was there in Bali, alongside Yermak and Igor. Yeva was born into a Jewish family, along with her twin sister Esti. Their jobs were in advertising agencies before they broke into the limelight on social media. First, what started as a TikTok blog became a brand which amassed 315,000 followers across TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Her and her sister's content was about life, work, family, and of course, money. They would film their prayers whilst also trying to sell blogging courses, selling themselves as having hundreds of brand deals and that anyone could do what they did if they followed their 10-step program. It's believed that they made tens of thousands a month. Part of her fame also came from controversial statements on podcasts regarding the war in Ukraine, or like the comment about her financial expectations of her partner. In one clip, she called out women who sleep around as being girls with mileage. The details of how Igor and Yeva met are not widely known, but as of 2026, they were together and celebrating Valentine's Day on the island of Bali. What happened in Bali leading up to the kidnapping is only known through the lens of Yeva's social media posts. On the 11th of January, Yeva posted a reel. Because of this post, her friends, family, followers, and more importantly, any adversaries they had knew they were in Bali. On January the 17th, the posts continued with Yeva posting something which translated to, "Can I assume the island didn't accept me?" as she is seen getting hooked up to IV. This is something fairly common in Bali. Bali does have a huge drinking culture, and the food can sometimes make you sick, both of which people use IV to get better. This was among other clips of Igor and Yeva eating food, smoking shisha, riding through caves on quad bikes, and photo shoots in the rain. On the 3rd of February, there was another photo shoot. This continued for a few days. They had their Valentine's boat day trip. Yeva posted, "Fuck 14th of February, I love you every day." Igor bought her flowers, and this marked their last full day together. During that day, Yeva was still posting normal lifestyle content on Instagram. One of the posts showed her getting ready, and in the video, she talked about the book The 12 Chairs by Soviet authors Petrov and Ilf. This novel is a famous satirical story about a conman and a former aristocrat searching for hidden jewels inside the 12 Chairs cafe. Later that evening, Igor went out with several friends to practice riding motorcycles on a steep hilly road in the Badung area of South Denpasar. One of the friends he was with was Yermak. However, the fun stopped at 10:20 p.m. Igor was towards the rear of the group, and they were on a straight stretch of the road. Then suddenly, a black car intercepted the group. Multiple men rushed out and headed for Igor. Witnesses described the attackers as moving rapidly and coordinated, as if it were carefully planned. Igor's friends managed to stay free of the kidnappers. Yermak was also ambushed, and he had to defend himself. He pulled out a knife and stabbed an attacker. This was enough for them to leave him alone. The same cannot be said for Igor. Igor was simply overwhelmed, and he was pulled into the vehicle. There was nothing that Yermak could do. The car drove off, leaving behind the motorcycle and witnesses in bewilderment. The friends who escaped alerted the authorities immediately, and shortly after, an investigation began. At roughly 11:50 p.m., officers went to the scene and began taking witness statements, and the police began to look for the vehicle that took Igor. But over the next 3 days, everything went quiet. There seemed to be no clear leads. But at the same time, Yeva's public-facing world looked eerily normal. On the 17th of February, she posted a paid collaboration for electrolyte water. And on the 18th of February, she appeared in a joint podcast-related Instagram post. Her boyfriend had just been kidnapped. In those early days, she didn't issue a statement about the kidnapping. By the 19th of February, the police finally had a lead. But that lead was like no other. It was in the form of Igor's first ransom video. Igor appeared to be bruised and visibly injured. He appeared to be reading under duress. He pleaded with his parents to return $10 million that he said he had taken from the kidnappers. He said he would repay everyone for the money that he had taken. If this wasn't already dark enough, it got way worse. Igor said that he had had part of his limbs cut off and raised a bloody rag over where his hand used to be. He also said that his legs and ribs were broken and that infection was setting in and that soon he would die. Igor also explained that no gangsters and no police would ever be able to find him. He said that once the money was paid, he would be returned to the place where he had been taken. On the 21st of February, this video began spreading across Telegram channels and social media. And now the investigation changed shape. It was no longer a missing person hunt with a kidnapping. It was now a public ransom case, which was all over the internet. Bali police said that they were checking the authenticity of the videos and trying to identify where they had been uploaded from. But around the same time, another clip surfaced. This time, it was aimed directly at Yeva. In that message, Igor told her not to believe rumors that he was already dead, because this would prevent someone from sending the ransom. He said nobody would find him, so don't try. And again, he reiterated that he needed urgent medical help because his infection was getting worse. Igor was so desperate that he even asked Yeva if she could speak to her family and see if they could pay the ransom. In another clip, Igor appears to talk about scam call centers and mentions other people, including Yermak, as being connected to that world. Things were now becoming clear, and it seemed that there was some credence to the claims made by Ukrainian media about Igor and Yermak. By Monday the 23rd of February, police had another lead. A foreign national, identified only by the initials CH, was arrested in West Nusa Tenggara. Investigators say that CH rented one of the used cars in the kidnapping under a false name. In late February of 2026, police started to back-calculate the route from the scene. Police processed CCTV and GPS data, and they mapped the movements of the rental car and 2 motorcycles. The trail led them to a villa in Tabanan. Police came to believe that this is where Igor had been held, assaulted, and filmed from that first ransom clip. Inside the villa, they found bloodstains. They also found blood in the rental vehicle, but it would be on the 26th of February that the case turned from a kidnapping to pure horror. Igor's time had run out. Human remains were found on a beach. He had been cut into 8 pieces. The body was too decomposed for soft tissue DNA, so investigators sent 6 bones to the National Forensic Laboratory. 2 visible markers made police suspect that this was Igor. They were his tattoos resembling a Virgin Mary image and a watch face in Roman numerals. Forensic specialists also estimated that the victim had likely been dead for more than 3 days by the time that the remains were examined. It was soon after this that the police named 6 additional foreign suspects. It was said that some of them appeared to use multiple passports, and 4 had already left Indonesia, whilst 2 were still believed to be on Bali. Perhaps one of the 2 left behind was the one stabbed by Yermak. Interpol soon became involved in this investigation. Indonesian police have asked them to help track the suspects across borders. As part of that process, red notices were issued so the 6 suspects would be arrested on site internationally if they ever tried to fly again. Igor's family did not go on record as appealing for their son at any point of the investigation, not even when ransom videos were being posted. Their only involvement was when the police suspected that they had Igor's body in pieces, and Igor's mother gave a DNA sample. By the 4th of March, the police said that her DNA already matched the blood found in the villa and the rental car. It was fully confirmed. By the 5th of March, Yeva finally broke her silence. She posted a photograph of herself with Igor and wrote in Ukrainian that she knew he would see it. Then in Russian, she called him her life and said that she loved him. After that, she recorded a crying video thanking people for their support. She said that she had been writing Igor on Telegram the entire time, hoping that he would still see the messages. Meanwhile, the Indonesian police are still on the hunt for the 6 suspects whose initials have been announced: RM, VK, AS, VN, SM, and DH. The police are also still trying to piece together the wider reasons and the motive behind the attack. For news outlets that are reporting the case, it's obvious, but the police need to find some concrete motives. Many believe that Igor was part of a world that took advantage of people and that he paid the ultimate price for it. Or is this a conclusion made only by circumstantial evidence and a confession made under duress? Only time will tell. But I suspect that the Indonesian police won't be heading to Ukraine anytime soon, and the police in Dnipro probably have bigger fish to fry right now. It's likely that the case will probably fade into obscurity and be renowned for one of the most chilling sequences of ransom videos on the internet to date. Online, much of the discussion around his girlfriend has turned accusatory. People are pointing to her social media posts as a possible link to what happened. Some believe that by sharing photographs and videos in real time, especially with location tags, she may have unintentionally exposed exactly where they were staying. A single post, updated in a moment that felt harmless, becomes in hindsight something far darker. The final thought I have is, why didn't his parents, his alleged business partner, and his rich girlfriend or her family not pay for the ransom? From researching this, they could have clubbed together $10 million relatively easily, or so it seems. Well, if they wanted to, that is.